Hello, I'd like to show you the changes that I've made to Tammy Rizzo's Navajo Ply on the Fly technique. In the previous video that I made, which I'll link in the sidebar, I spun one arm's length at a time and then chained it, which made for some very short chains and some very fiddly spinning. In this way, I'll show you that I spin 3 arms lengths at a time, which then makes for a nice long chain. So and also in the previous video I showed you how to start a spindle. You can watch that video to see how to start it. Here you can see I have quite a bit spun already. So here is the little loop left over from my previous chain. I'll wind the single around it once to hold it in place. Now you can see this is a previous arm's length that I've spun. The first arm's length, I wind below the cop a few turns. You'll see why later. Now I'll wind on quickly around the fat part, ending with a decent little leader. When I get there's a piece of hay. When I get the leader long enough, and I can give it a good whirl. So this will be my second arm's length on this particular chain. This is an alpaca silk blend from idazzlersalpacas.com, which is just wonderful. I'll link to them in the sidebar too. Beautiful fiber. There's my second arm's length. I'll wind it on any which way I want. Now here's my third arm's length. See how nicely this drafts? Now, I'll get the unspun business out of my way, and I wind around my hand. The Peruvian butterfly thing just kills me. If you like to use it, be my guest. It tears up my wrist. I just wind around an open hand. Sometimes I'll hold a racquetball in there. It helps to keep my hand in a relaxed position. Now, as I'm unwinding, pretty soon I can tell by the speed that the spindle spins that I've gotten to this part. This tells me that very soon, to slow down, that very soon my little loop, see, there it is coming. I grab it, I pull it open, I wind around this hook, turn the spindle in the spinning direction, which opens up the hook, opens up the loop. Can you see? Now I fish through a new loop. I'll grasp it between my knees and pull as much through as I can. Then I'll drop it to the floor, hold it with my foot, and pull out the rest. I need to leave some in reserve for the next chain. I put the single over my thumb, I put the new loop over my thumb, pinch, and now I'm ready to ply. That looks good. Let me let these claws dry. Now when I'm winding on my just plied portion, I wind on quickly. When I get about this far from the end, I'll wind on under the whorl. I'll press with my index finger, which keeps the loop open. I'll turn one turn of single around the loop, which continues to hold it open, and then I'm ready to spin again. Like I said, my first arm's length, I'll wind under the cop, but after that I can wind it any way I want. I could pull one long chain through, or if I prefer, I can pull numerous short chains through. I generally prefer to pull one chain through, but every now and then you hit a bump or a bad spot in your single, in which case it pays to pull numerous short lengths. I'll show you that this time around. So here's my second arm's length. Now here we go. Here's the third arm's length. get the unspun stuff out of my way, wind onto my hand. You can use the butterfly method if you prefer. It's probably more efficient. It just gives me tremendous pain. Now I can tell that I've gotten to this part. I'm waiting for my loop. There it is. Now this time around I'll pull through numerous chains so you can see how it's done. I like to grasp it between my knees with the hook facing down so it won't come loose. But you see I can pull sharp chains through too if I like. If they start undoing, I'll give it a couple of turns in the flying direction, and then I can continue pulling chains and they won't slide. So now you can see I had numerous chains. I lost track of how many I made watching the cargo by. Now I'm ready to fly. And that's it. Couldn't be simpler. I like this technique. Maybe you will too. I know. Now I'll show you what goes on the lower half so that you can see what I'm doing. Now, I begin chaining. Go away, shoot. I begin chaining by grasping the spindle between my knees. Then when I run out of arm's length, I just let it fall to the floor. I continue pulling out the length. Pinch it around my elbow, give it a whirl. You also can spin it with your feet if you like this. Then I wind on, ending under the whirl. And that's it. Hello again. When I filmed the previous segment of this video, I showed you how I, with each arm length, I put it around my elbow, and then I wound onto the spindle. But then when it came time to make the chains, I was wrapping it around my hand. Well, I had only just learned this elbow thing from Wonder Mike on Fiberbeat. Now I have my 3 arm length spun, and I'll show you that the elbow thing works for this step too. I have my little bit in reserve wrapped around my hand. I'm going to kind of scoot the fiber supply out of the way. Now I'll wrap it around my thumb and elbow. There's my signal that my loop is coming up soon. There it is. I can peel it open. Now I want to be sure, I didn't point this out last time, but I want to be really sure that my yarn is coming from directly under the whorl and not from, say, back here. If you wrap it like this, you can just about be assured that your yarn will come woofing off when you spin it in the flying direction. So I make sure I wrap a couple of times directly under the whorl, come up through the notch, go around the hook. Actually, I didn't leave enough length. Spin gently in the spinning direction to open up the little loop. Now, I can just wag my elbow back and forth, and as you can see, the singles just comes peeling off, no problem. Give it a spin. You see how the yarn is staying securely around the top? If you don't have it under the whorl, that won't happen. It'll go flinging off in every different direction, and I think that might be a big reason why a lot of people are unhappy with this technique. The cop is pretty unstable because you're spinning the spindle in the spinning direction and then in the flying direction, and so winding on the cop, you don't know which way to wind. Always wind in the spinning direction because it seems like you spend more time spinning, so that just makes sense. Now, I'm going to get up close to the camera and show you winding that little, do you see the little loop here? After I've pulled through, I'll lay it down and then wind the single around it. That really kind of helps keep it open. Now I'll come down here and I'm ready to spin again. This business about having the fiber lead directly under the whorl is not important for the spinning direction. It's really only important for the flying direction because my cop is wound as though I'm doing nothing but spinning. Get it? Anyway, I really like this technique, and maybe you will too. And I think these little changes make all the world of difference in your satisfaction with this technique. Keep on spinning.